Now our second speaker of the session is Lieutenant Colonel Chandana Wickramasinghe, and he is going to speak on the topic Survival of a State in Facing International Hegemony, Sri Lankan Perspective. Lieutenant Colonel Chandana Wickramasinghe is presently serving as the Dean of the Faculty of Defense and Strategic Studies in General Sir Kotlawala Defense University. He joined Sri Lanka Army in regular force in 1989 and followed his basic military training in Sri Lanka Military Academy and Indian Military Academy. He is a graduate from Army Command and Staff College, Sri Lanka. He is having master's degree in international relations from University of Colombo and a qualified trainer in United Nations Civil Military Coordination. Colonel Wickramasinghe is a keen researcher on international relations and strategic studies. He is often involved in preparation of curricular and examination papers. He conducts lectures on homeland security, strategic studies, and international relations. He writes articles and blogs on current and global issues. Without further ado, I would like to request Lieutenant Colonel Chandana Wickramasinghe to make his lecture. Thank you.
Honored Chair and the panel, the Vice Chancellor, Sir, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Sir, and the Dean Faculty of Graduate Studies for giving this opportunity to present my presentation on the survival of state in the face of international hegemony. Just to elaborate myself, I'll be taking my presentation on the international realist perspective, on my presentation. To do this, my presentation, I will be following the following sequence. During my presentation, I will be touch upon keywords on geopolitics, security, hegemony, international relations, and transnational, and the littoral states and sovereignty. These are my keywords during my presentation also. Just to elaborate, and the persons who have been new to the subject of international relations, I would like to give you the word of hegemony. The hegemony, the word comes from the Greek origin and originally referred to the dominant or preponderant position of one state over others or the international system. So any country could have been the powerful nation to have an influence over other, it can be called the hegemony. So ladies and gentlemen, to identify the hegemony, these are the categorized versions of hegemony is being identified. To show that the conventional approach, the neoliberal approach, and Gramscian and radical. To give you a little of the depth knowledge of the theoretical aspect. In that, ladies and gentlemen, the conventional state that the powerful state exercise leadership and fundamental control over entire system. The neoliberal concept states the states put hegemonic influence on liberal economic activities and globalization through a state actors by advocating ideal conditions and etc. The Gramscian theory, based on coercion hegemony, based on consent is significant process with leading to ruling class society reforms. And the third one, the radical theory. The hegemony acquires universal significance to their terms in concept of empire, new personalization of the theoretical aspect. I would like to give you a glimpse of the dynamism of littoral states. If you could see in the map, you must be seeing the island nations or the littoral states in this. There are significance, dynamism is one into another. They could have been, I have been marked some of the countries in the Caribbean islands. Some are islands which is being divided into some parts. As yesterday the keynote speaker says, achieving the dominant or millennium goals, achievements. In that, if you can visualize, you can see the levels of the country on the map, and it can be seen the progress up to now. Some of the islands like Haiti, so the Cyprus or Java or the Timor Islands who've been divided have been having experience of somehow rather either dynamism of some or either religion or ethnic or vice versa. So ladies and gentlemen, having identified characteristics of these island nations and having been some of the principles, although the littoral states, some academia says there are some uniqueness of all littoral state people. However, being Sri Lanka, we being island nation, having document history for over 2,500 years, and having many more travels in the time of passage for us, it is very important to identify our characteristics as a Sri Lankan nation. As it says, the geopolitical location, the importance of the Sri Lankan maritime area or the place, it gives ample opportunity to play in a vital role in the current global perspective. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to give you a glimpse on how the Sri Lankan way and the influences which Sri Lanka has been occurred in the way of cultural, religious, security, social, technology, environment, political, legal, and economic. We being island, a square meter of 65,600 square kilometers, being a small or mid-level island in the world, having been this much of the population, 21 million, and 21 million population segregated into many parts of the island, and they proportionately, the 71 Sinhala, the 18 Tamil, and 74% Sinhalese, 18 Tamil, 7 Moor, and other. Having this entire nation to get into one area, to achieving the prosperity, it is very important to have a philosophical, survival, or whatever the principle to the next. We being military, we are being hampered for many years, even the history, and thus right now, after conclusion of the humanitarian operation, we being a country in the believing that we will have a time to come to a world standard level to achieving the prosperity for the well-being of the people of the country. So therefore, the differences of the Sri Lanka should not be taken as a problem. We being a secular country for a long time, having been in a rich cultural heritage, having been very much integral within the society, having this identification of the dynamics of the Sri Lanka, we should think how our country should be. Uniqueness of the Sri Lanka can be categorized like this. Any country needs to have a mindset change or philosophical change to preserve the country's identification. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, the preserving the Sri Lankan identity and maintain the stability, security, and attain prosperity for the well-being of the people is very important. In that, national will or to articulate a philosophical change too is required. In that, I have found our Sri Lankan culture is being known as secular society, the democratic values, and we are being, as I said, the maritime country or littoral states, and we are practicing non-aligned procedure for long. And we are having, although due to the time and change of multipolarity in the world and the time of passage, we are being right now faces on multipolar from Second World War to right now. We have passed the bipolarity, and we are on the time of unipolarity and verge of another multipolarity in the picture. So having this identification, the secular society, democratic value, maritime country, the non-aligned philosophy of Sri Lankan foreign relations, and mixed economy, always truthful and prosperity is coming for us. So therefore, having this line, we should march towards forward. Just to